Now at 6, tragedy in Canby as a teen dies after being struck by a train.
I'm sorry for the family. I think it's horrible. I can't imagine going through that.
Plus, patients with chronic pain, denied medication, and desperate for relief.
Some of them are going out on the streets and getting heroin.
Why some pharmacies are refusing to fill one doctor's opioid prescriptions. And building back a vibrant North Portland community torn down a half-century ago.
Where we're standing right now used to be a bunch of stores and black-owned shops.
The plan to bring new life to the heart of Albina. And we begin at 6 with a tragedy in a community in mourning after a teen is hit and killed by a train. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Tim Gordon. The incident happened last night, and today the victim was confirmed to be an 18-year-old Canby High School student. Now some neighbors are saying train safety has been a concern for a while. Blair Best joins us from Canby with the latest on the investigation. Blair.
Well, Tim, details are still somewhat limited, seeing as police are still trying to figure out how this happened. But they tell us an 18-year-old was crossing the tracks here just north of South Pine Street when he was hit and killed by an oncoming freight train.
Spend an afternoon in Canby and this becomes familiar.
Just about everybody's used to it. It's a necessary evil. You know, it's part of our safety. Gotta have it.
A safety alarm that didn't go far enough Monday night. That's when Canby police say 18-year-old Mason Warshaw was hit and killed by a freight train while walking across the tracks. Police say it happened just before 7 p.m. and it appears to be accidental.
I have to wonder why he didn't hear it. What was he doing on the railroad tracks?
Warshaw was a senior at Canby High School.
Terrible, because I actually graduated last year.
2 years ago, the city designated a downtown quiet zone where trains do not blow their horns. But police tell us the tracks where the student died is outside of that zone.
Like, we could clearly hear the train that's coming because they horned, and everything.
Sandra lives near the tracks. She watched the chaos unfold Monday night.
And I came out like around 9. And they were still here. I just pray for the family.
The local school district sent a letter of condolence to school families, adding there are counselors available to students struggling to process the loss.
I'm sorry for the family. I think it's horrible. I can't imagine going through that. It's going to change their lives forever.
Now today we also talked with several community members who all tell us this is not the first time someone has been hit and killed by a train here in Canby, and that they've been pushing for increased safety around the tracks. Now we asked police about that, but we have yet to hear back. Tim.
Blair Best reporting. Thanks, Blair. Now to your headlines now. A Clark County man who spent 3 years in jail after he was charged with murder is now suing the detective who arrested him. The federal lawsuit filed last month names Vancouver Police Detective Dustin Godshall as the sole defendant. It argues that Richard Knapp should not have been arrested based on the evidence available at the time and that his Fourth Amendment rights were violated. Knapp was arrested in 2019 and charged with the murder of 26-year-old Audrey Fraser in 1994. Detectives said DNA at the crime scene pointed them to Knapp, who spent the next 3 years in jail. But in 2022, days before his trial was set to start, prosecutors dropped the charges. They admitted that new evidence cast doubt on the case, and Knapp was then released. The lawsuit does not say how much money Knapp is asking for. In Battleground, police are asking anyone who bought anything at the Walmart Supercenter there to check their bank statements after a card skimmer device was found at a register on Sunday. That's a picture of a skimmer there. It's a device that can access information encoded on credit or bank cards. Police say employees believe the device could have been there anywhere from 6 a.m. to 10:45 p.m. on Sunday. If you think your financial information has been compromised, call 311 to file a report. Well, in Salem, Oregon's bid to ditch the switch and stay on standard time year-round is almost certainly dead. Senate Bill 1548 would have put Oregon on standard time permanently only if Washington and California did the same. It narrowly passed the state Senate yesterday, but hours later, House Speaker Dan Rayfield referred the bill to a committee. And with the session ending on Sunday and more urgent legislation to work on, well, time will run out before it can come up for a vote. And by the way, daylight savings time starts this Sunday as the legislature wraps up. Meantime, a bill to fund summer learning programs for K through 12 students in the state is now headed to Governor Tina Kotek's desk. The Senate passed Senate Bill 4082 today after the House passed it last week. The revised bill provides $30 million to programs that help kids in subjects like math, science, and reading, down from the $50 million that was initially sought. In a statement, Governor Kotek said she hopes lawmakers can find additional money to make up that gap before the session ends. And it's March Madness time for the Portland Bureau of Transportation, but this has nothing to do with basketball. Instead of scoring buckets, they are fixing potholes, filling them fast. PBOT says it has 7 crews that will spend the next 2 weeks helping streets recover from recent winter storms. A major focus area is east of 82nd Avenue. If you have issues with potholes in your Portland neighborhood and you'd like to see them fixed, you can report them at pdxreporter.org. Matt?
Well, nothing to fix here, Tim. Look at this shot from our Cannon Beach sky cam. This is live. Sunset underway. Beautiful look as the sky has been clearing, the clouds adding some nice color to the whole scene, and we catch a breather from wild weather. There's no snow, there's no ice, there's no east wind. There's not even any rain in the forecast for the next several days either. It's 44 degrees Cannon Beach right now. Meanwhile, out in the Dalles, also clearing off. This is the warmest place in Oregon today and the only place to make the mid-50s, but they're down to 46 right now. We'll get some warmer weather, but really for only about a day, although temperatures will gradually rise in the next couple days. But the big story is we don't have a lot of precipitation left. There's a few snow showers left up around Mount Hood. That's about it. Southern Oregon still getting snow here and over into southeastern Oregon. And the snow has been heavy in parts of southern Oregon with that next system rolling into California. Some of these reports here are as much as 20 inches down around the Siskiyous, around O'Brien and up by Cape Junction. So clearing tonight in the Portland area and all of western Oregon and western Washington, as a matter of fact. Frosty, though, tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, and Friday morning. Will be dry through Friday, and then the weekend brings the rain and mountain snow back. Tim, we'll talk more on that later.
Yes, we will. Thanks, Matt. Kind of nice to dry out for a few days. Well, hundreds of Longview residents have been unable to get opioid prescriptions for chronic pain, and they're worried what that means for their future. Thomas Schultz joins us now live from Longview. And Thomas, what's going on there?
Yeah, well, Tim, patients recently learned that pharmacies, both independent outfits as well as chains, may not refill their opioid prescriptions prescribed by Dr. Richard Kirkpatrick. Now, Kirkpatrick says that's due to a 2021 opioid settlement, creating red flags if pharmacies fill too high of a portion of opioid prescriptions in their area. In the past couple of years, chains like Safeway, Walmart, and others stopped filling Kirkpatrick's opioid prescriptions, and that's forced him to funnel more prescriptions to fewer pharmacies, thereby triggering even more red flags. Now, Kirkpatrick has more than 500 patients who are prescribed opioids. Many of these patients have terminal pain. We spoke to a couple of them today who haven't been able to get their prescriptions filled. One has cancer and bones in his back that scrape against each other. He has arthritis, too. The other broke her neck years ago, and she says she needs opioid pain relief medication in order for day-to-day functions. Now, why is Dr. Kirkpatrick filling so many of these prescriptions? He says it's because fewer and fewer doctors prescribe opioids here in Longview, and instead they may offer alternatives like therapy and acupuncture, which patients have told him do not work.
The other options are perceived by the patients as being uncaring.
Now, we reached out to the drug distributor Cardinal Health, who Dr. Kirkpatrick says told these pharmacies not to fulfill his prescriptions. We asked them for an interview. We didn't hear back. We also spoke with a local pharmacist who agrees with Kirkpatrick, saying these patients are not being adequately cared for. Tim?
All right. Thanks, Thomas.
This was a really vibrant commercial district, and I think it should see some more of that again.
A new $115 million development coming to North Portland will help revitalize a historic black neighborhood. The vacant block owned by Legacy Health is now returning to the black community. Included in the plan, affordable housing and a hub for black entrepreneurship. Deidre Johnson has the details.
Tom Colligan remembers when the area at North Russell Street and Williams Avenue used to be a thriving black neighborhood.
Historically, in the old Albina community, this was a really vibrant commercial district.
And now thinks it's time to see the area come up once again.
The black community has definitely been squeezed out of this neighborhood. I mean, everybody here knows that. yeah, more services that welcome them back and let people stay in their homes around here is great.
That's exactly what the Williams and Russell Restorative Project aims to do. A new $115 million project on 1.7 acres will bring 85 affordable apartments and 20 townhomes, as well as a black business hub to the area.
This development is here to kind of right a wrong that occurred when Legacy Health expanded with the help of the city back in the late 70s or the early 70s.
Bryson Davis says it won't just right a wrong due to gentrification, but bring more black people into the community.
This will hopefully give them several different locations to both buy and rent back in the neighborhood where the community used to be.
Others say it's a step in the right direction to help provide an avenue for wealth creation.
I think that black-owned businesses are going to thrive and prosper.
Project leaders say they took time to listen to the needs of the people to make sure the project was what the community needed.
It has been a long time coming, and one of the things that makes this whole process slow down is to make sure that we involve enough people to really make sure that the development reflects the desires of the community.
Deidre Johnson, KGW News.
And Deidre tells us the Williams and Russell project is on track to break ground on the first phase in May of 2025. The project is expected to be complete in 2027.